What if I told you the modern world is a casino and you're the one being played?
Not bad, right? Boom!
What if the job hunt, the dating app, the dream of being a content creator, and even your favorite video game are all starting to look like different rigged games in the same establishment? Each one promises a jackpot, the dream job, the perfect match, viral fame, the epic win. But behind that promise is a system, an algorithm, a house edge, all designed to exploit a generation that feels like the traditional paths to success are blocked. This is a story about why so many are turning to desperate measures and digital escapes. It's not because they are lazy or foolish, it's because the main game, the real world, feels unwinnable. Before we can understand the shortcuts though, we have to understand the blocked path. For generations, the formula for a stable life was straightforward. Get an education, get a good job, find a good partner, build a future. But for millions of young people today, that formula is broken. It has been replaced by an algorithmic gauntlet that grinds you down. This isn't just frustrating, it's a direct assault on our core psychological needs. Our need for competence to feel effective, and our need for relatedness to feel connected. Let's start with the job market. You hear the news? The economy is strong. Millions of job openings, but the unemployment rate for young grads has hit a decade high, and it's now higher than the national average. But why? Well, first, experience inflation. A staggering 61% of jobs listed as entry-level now demand 3 or more years of experience. It's a catch-22 designed to de-risk the hiring for corporations and push all the risk onto you. So you play the numbers because you have to. The average job seeker now submits around 221 applications just to land a single job offer. Additionally, you're not sending your resume to a person, you're sending it to a machine. An estimated 98% of large companies use applicant tracking systems, the ATS, to filter resumes. This software scans for keywords and formatting and automatically rejects up to 75% of applicants before a human being even sees their name. You are being rendered invisible by an algorithm. And if finding work feels like a soul-crushing assault on your competence, finding a partner can feel like a direct attack on your need for connection.
No. 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 No.
The online dating world is a game of brutal math. For the average man, it can take over 4,000 swipes to get one single date. And this is the backdrop for our story, a real world that systematically frustrates our deepest human needs, leading to what researchers call failure to launch syndrome and rejection sensitivity dysphoria. So when reality falls short, where do we go? We go to worlds designed to be better. For millions, the first escape is video games. Unlike the real world, game worlds are expertly designed to satisfy those needs that reality denies us. Psychologists call it self-determination theory. Games give us clear goals, measurable progress, the feeling of leveling up and mastering a skill, the freedom to make meaningful choices that shape our own destiny. Online guilds and communities where we can forge deep and social bonds. But here's the catch. Those need-fulfilling havens have become the perfect hunting ground for a new type of predator, the monetization machine.
But this case has the grand honor of being the absolute worst case in Counter-Strike. Like mathematically, this is the worst case or normal case in the game by a mile. Basically everything in here is a loss except for a gold. It is possible to make profit from a skin other than a gold, but it is actually rarer to get a profitable like weapon skin than it is to get a gold from this case. That's how bad it is.
Oh, hell no.
The most controversial mechanic is, of course, the loot box. You pay real money for a box with a randomized reward. This isn't just a feature, it's a gambling mechanic wearing a video game's skin. They're built on a principle called variable ratio reinforcement, the same psychological engine that makes slot machines addictive. The uncertainty of the reward triggers a dopamine rush, making the act of opening the box more compelling than the prize itself. These systems are most effective on those already feeling distressed. The burnout and rejection from the real world make you more vulnerable to the easy, predictable sense of competence that you can buy in the game. But some people don't want to escape into the digital world, they want to build one. They want to become a content creator. This is the new American dream, getting paid to do what you love. But the dream of being a creator is built on the same psychology as a casino. The creator places a bet, hours or days spent creating a video. They pull the lever by hitting the publish button, and they play for the jackpot, the massive, unpredictable, life-changing reward of going viral. This is the same intermittent reinforcement that hooks gamblers. A video that gets a lot of early views but fizzles out is just a near miss, encouraging you to immediately place another bet on the next video. And the financial odds are just as bleak. Headlines celebrate Mr. Beast making $54 million in 1 year, but that's like advertising the lottery winner. The reality, a staggering 46% of people who identify as full-time creators earn less than $1,000 a year. This is what academics call aspirational labor. You're not being paid in money, you're being paid in the hope of a future career. It's unpaid hope labor that fuels a multi-billion-dollar industry that profits from your dreams. So when escaping into video games feels hollow and the dream of being a creator turns into a burnout machine, the shortcuts get even more direct and more dangerous. This is where we find the highest stakes tables in the casino. First, let's talk about OnlyFans. This platform offers the most potent promise of all, a direct conversion of your physical self into cash, status, and relevance. In a world where the job market devalues you and the dating market rejects you, OnlyFans offers a space where you feel explicitly desired and your value is quantifiable in dollars. It's a powerful, if perilous, antidote to feeling invisible. But the easy money narrative is a dangerous myth at best. The reality is that OnlyFans is not passive income. For most, it is a demanding, low-wage digital service job. The data is very clear. Around 60% of all creator revenue doesn't come from subscriptions. It comes from constantly grinding in the DMs, selling pay-per-view content, fulfilling custom requests, and encouraging tips. It's a 24/7 job of emotional labor, managing hundreds of parasocial relationships that can be incredibly draining. And for all that work, the payout is absolutely abysmal. Less than half of creators make even $180 a month, and only the top 10% crack $1,000. And what's the price you pay for that lottery ticket? The risks are as immense as they are permanent. First, content piracy. It's a near certainty that your content will be stolen and distributed on pirate sites. Creators are then forced to play an endless unpaid game of whack-a-mole, filing takedown notices. Second, doxing and stalking. Unintentional clues in a photo, a street sign, a piece of mail can lead you to your real address being discovered. The intimate nature of the platform can foster obsession, and there are multiple documented cases of stalkers finding creators in the real world. Finally, the immense psychological toll. The constant pressure, the objectification, the feeling of being a product to be consumed, it all leads to staggering rates of anxiety, depression, and burnout. The bet on OnlyFans isn't just your time, it's your physical image, your future reputation, and your mental health. And the house takes its 20% cut with zero liability. Now let's talk about the other high-stakes table, sports gambling. This is perhaps the most honest of all the rigged games because it doesn't pretend to be anything else. Its appeal is massive, especially for young men, because it perfectly integrates into an existing passion. The relentless marketing has normalized it, making it feel like a standard part of being a sports fan. It sells you the idea that you're not just gambling, you're proving that you are a smarter fan. It plays directly into that need for competence that the job market denies. But the industry has engineered a suite of products designed to be as compelling and profitable as possible. First, you have the parlay, the lottery ticket that gets people in the door with the promise of a massive payout from a small bet. But the real danger is live micro betting. This is the continuous adrenaline rush of betting on every single play, turning a 3-hour game into 1,000 tiny gambling decisions, all driven by impulse. Then there are the same game parlays, which sportsbooks push relentlessly. Why? Because combining multiple bets from the same game gives them an even bigger mathematical advantage, an even higher house edge than a regular bet. And it all starts with deceptive promotions, like the risk-free bet. It's not risk-free. When you lose, you don't get cash back, you get site credits that force you to gamble again. It's a classic customer acquisition tool that's designed to get you hooked. No matter which of these games you play, the fundamental rules never change. The house always wins. Their business model is built on your losses. They are not your friend, they are a business designed to take your money. And the human cost of participating in these rigged games is staggering. It's a crisis of mental health, financial ruin, and permanent consequences. For gambling, the first cost is guaranteed, a slow, steady drain of your money. It's a tax on hope paid directly to these corporations. But for millions, that slow drain becomes a tidal wave. The average debt from gambling is around $55,000. The legalization of online sports betting is linked to a 25 to 30% increase in personal bankruptcies. And the despair that follows as financial ruin leads to the most tragic cost of all. The rate at which problem gamblers attempt to end their own lives is 20%, more than 20 times higher than the general population. For creators on platforms like OnlyFans, the cost is a permanent stain on their digital identity, with the constant terrifying risk of doxing, stalking, and blackmail. The dream of freedom becomes a prison of fear. Where does this leave us? The easy answer you'll hear is, just make better choices. Just be more responsible. But that advice is an insult. It completely ignores the reality that we just laid out. It ignores a world where our courtiers are frustrated from the start. The job hunt is a slot machine of keywords. Dating apps are a slot machine of swipes. Content creation is a slot machine of virality. Video games now have literal slot machines in them. And sports betting, well, that's just gambling. This isn't just about a few dangerous platforms, it's about a generation being squeezed. The traditional paths are blocked by algorithms and impossible standards, while the digital escapes have been weaponized, monetized, and designed to exploit our neediness for profit. So when every door you're told to walk through is rigged and the escape hatch is a trap, the problem isn't the individual player, the problem is the game itself.